Boundaries sounds like we're putting up borders, blocks, or gates to keep others out. Although it's the truth, the word boundaries sounds like a negative word. I'm not sure why we think the word boundaries is negative. Healthy boundaries are very positive. They mean that you care for yourself and that you will not allow others to treat you badly. You won't allow others to use you and to talk abusively towards you. Let's start by clearing our mindsets and now using the word healthy boundaries as a positive thing we all need in life. Why would we need boundaries? One of my good friends has run boundaryless for the majority of her life. For years, I've tried to incorporate healthy boundaries into her life, but she has been resistant, thinking that it will offend others. I can tell you that she is responding with trauma responses because, like her, many of us have had trauma happen to us in life, and we didn't have parents or friends or any kind of support system to help us through the traumatic time. So we formed our own actions, thoughts, and processes on how to get through it. Most of the time, I believe we all tuck the bad stuff that happens to us deep inside and keep moving on with life. And by doing this, you're not only hurting your mind with confusion on how to handle a situation with emotions and work through them, you are also creating an energy that you're tucking deep down inside, festering into physical ailments. Later in life, you will feel the ramifications of years worth of pain, anger, and frustrations that you tucked away into your body. Emotions are energy. Energy tucked into our body in heavy form can cause physical pain inside of our bodies. If you knew the things that were going wrong in your body were because you were too far away from your own truth in life, and that you've tucked down years worth of pain and who knows what, if you knew these things could be better when you move closer to the truth of who you are and are eliminating the lies, we would lose half of the healthcare system that we have. What I mean is, we would be relying on ourselves to eat right and take care of our mental state of mind as to not cause the physical pains inside of our body. The majority of people believe what the doctor says to them. When you believe the doctor, this may not be a truth for our own bodies. The doctor recognizes patterns that tell him what the textbook problem is. I will have to go deeper into this with you later on of how this truly works. But for now, all I can say is that a lot of this could have been averted if you had healthy boundaries in place. Hope is not lost, but you have to start now. Try not to get upset with yourself for what you didn't know. Be happy with yourself for finding out the truth when you did. Every time you find out the truth, be happy. Going back to my friend, she has had no boundaries in her life. And what that has done has caused her to seek validation from literally everyone else and is not feeling satisfied or content with her life. She gets hurt over and over. She also gets hurt over other people's actions, even if they were not directed at her. Meaning, she watched a stranger be mean to another stranger and her feelings get hurt. This is a severe empath feeling that she has acquired due to traumatic experiences she endured in the past. She doesn't want other people to feel like she does, so she cries for them. Truly, she has come a long way fast after working with me and learning how to set up those loving boundaries lately. It's easy to set up loving boundaries. What's hard is enforcing them. We feel like we will be judged by people and that they might not like us anymore if we set up a boundary with them. This is far from the truth. Anyone who is a leader in their life and or living their purposeful life, or if someone just cares about themselves, they will have the utmost respect for you and your boundaries. Setting healthy boundaries tells other people not only how much you value yourself, you respect and value them also. It shows you won't take life for granted and that you can feel good with your decisions with every situation life can throw at you. I'm going to guess right now that some of you people who say yes to helping others because they're family or friends or someone who needs the help, and just because they asked you, you have to say yes. Well, I have another friend who, before I met her, was a person who said yes to everyone because she was a nice girl. She did not want anyone else to think that she wasn't nice. She went to such extremes to say yes to everyone that she would be totally exhausted at the end of the day and end up at home doing nothing, trying to relieve her mind from the struggles of not having the boundaries she needed. Later in life, she had to get surgery, and her overall health is not where it should be in her 30s. Her 30s. Two women that came to be in their life in their 30s have had worse health problems than the people that I know in their 60s. Well, this is because there was trauma when they were growing up and they learned to avoid it all by eating or placing other people's values above theirs. Instead of setting healthy boundaries and saying no every now and again, they found their own coping mechanisms to get through them each time. We all have coping mechanisms. It was real fun for me to find out all of the coping mechanisms I've been using to get through my life. I now have healthy boundaries. What does a healthy boundary look like to you? Do you foresee someone asking for a favor and you can lovingly tell them no? You don't have to have a reason. Your reason is that you're not right for what they are asking. And that leaves space for someone who is right to come and help them, someone more qualified or has more time or wants to help. Do you see yourself setting up a boundary with your spouse and not letting them talk down to you? When you know that they're mad about something and taking it out on you, a loving boundary will be set to where he or she will be forced to talk about it eventually instead of yelling at you. Either that or they will seek out someone else to take their frustrations out on. Other boundaries may be with work or the way that you allow your parents to talk to you or who you let into your life. Setting boundaries also cuts people out of your life. You need to prepare yourself for that. Boundaries are guidelines for how you want your life to run. When we use healthy boundaries, it not only works for us who is setting the boundary, it works for the people involved with it also. Do you allow people to speak their minds to you and you just listen to them? Do you speak your mind to others and it is not well received? Do you let other people think that you're someone else rather than who you truly are? Do you even know who you truly are at the core? Do you say yes when you really mean no? Do you say no when you really mean yes? Setting healthy boundaries will help us live our most unapologetic life. Living an unapologetic life does not mean that you're not sorry when you hurt someone unintentionally. Living an unapologetic life means that you're making choices while having both yours and the other person's best interest in mind. You figure out what would work best for both of you. This way, you're not walking through life wondering if you've hurt the other person's feelings. Boundaries let both parties know what will happen. You can walk through life not having to be sorry, knowing that you thought about the other person, but then valued your own feeling above theirs. I believe most women have put others' feelings above their own because this is what we were taught to do and are still teaching our kids to do because we don't know any different. All people should put their own feelings first and also consider the other person's feelings about the situation. I think a lot of men were taught to hide their feelings, and that's harder than what women are having to go through at this stage in life. I'm not saying what us women are going through isn't hard. I have to say, at least we are open to our feelings and sometimes too open with our feelings. Guys were taught to tuck theirs down from the beginning. Please let me help you set up boundaries with this world. Please help me set up boundaries with the world. Please let this world be as bad as what people perceive it to be. And please help find your joy so you can spread it to others and make this world what we want it to be. Joy is found by setting up boundaries and living your true self life. You can continue living and letting people do as they will do with you, or you can come learn how to set up healthy boundaries that will leave you feeling fulfilled. I warned you that when you start to set up boundaries, most people will not know what hit them, but they will know something has changed. Of course, a change has happened. You are no longer a person's sounding board or an energy taker, like you take their negative energy after they release it. A boundary will leave that person's energy with them and it will hit them like a ton of bricks the first time. An example of this that comes to my mind is when I finally set up a boundary with my ex husband. A little backstory: we were together 21 years total and married for 5, had 2 kids in those last 5 years that we were married. Needless to say, I realized I'd never had a boundary with him. I was an empath energy soaker, and I was also a giver of all my energy to him, and I never said no. I was so far from my truth that it hurt. My ex and I share custody of our children, and it was my husband's week with kids, and I asked him if I could take the kids to a birthday party on one Saturday. After the party on our way back to his house, my daughter asks if her and her brother can stay the night at my house. And I told her that it's her daddy's week and that he would probably want to spend that time with him too. I told her that we will ask, but be prepared that he says no. We exchange kids normally on Sunday evening, so I told her, well, it's only going to be one more day and it'll be okay. We got to his house and he was trying to move his truck around the yard. And I asked him if the kids could stay the night, and he blew up at me. From his truck, he was yelling. I was back. I wasn't right up next to him. But he's like, yes, yes, you can keep the kids. Just keep them all the time. And he just kept going on. I instantly felt his anger, energy come at me. My habit in life prior to now for the past 20 some years was to argue back. As soon as I felt his energy, I realized this time what was happening. And I said, well, I'm not mad. Well, why do I feel mad? Oh, it's his energy. Nope, not today. And I sent his mad energy right back at him. And he pulled his truck around the yard and into the driveway. And I calmly went over to him and I explained how I had already told our daughter that she would have to stay because it is his week, and that I was just asking because I told her I would. And since I stayed calm and I didn't argue, he was able to go from mad to not so mad by the time we were done talking. He also admitted to me that he wanted to go to a place, but they had already closed. He told me why he was mad and was taking it out on me. I felt like this is the biggest boundary that I have ever set and the best outcome that I could have ever had up until that time. Well, I literally stayed calm and I did not get angry when he yelled at me, and my boundary of not arguing paid off. I call it rise above. When someone is arguing with you, pretend like you're in an elevator and push a few floors above where they are. This way, you are physically higher than them and not in direct line with their energy and the words that they are saying. When you're in a higher space, you have a higher perspective and you can see the situation from a different point of view. When you see it from a different point of view, you can change the way you react or not react at all. Emotions are our power. Use them wisely. You have been preset to react to situations. It takes time, skill, and patience to learn how to not react. The best way I started to learn how to not react to others was just to understand they were just hurt and yelling about their own insecurities. It's what we all do. We're all hurt. We get hurt in a situation, current. We'll get hurt in a current situation and think that it's this person's fault. But the truth is, we were probably hurt a long time ago, and we're just replaying the same type of situations. And our reaction is the same as it has always been when this situation arises. Change your reaction, change your mindset, set your boundaries. When your boundaries go up, you'll have some people reacting to you lovingly and understanding. Some people will resist, and some people will resist to the point that they leave your life. Some people may refuse to leave or acknowledge your boundaries, and you need to distance yourself from them. People will react the way that they learned how, and this will tell you truly who your tribe is. Boundaries are good for finding your tribe, that set of people who understand you and do not judge you. My class is intended and set for just these things. The class is for finding like-minded people who can be themselves and loved for it. Be part of a class with others who are fun to be around, and we have a big, comfy space for everyone. How do you get your tribe of people in your life? One boundary at a time. I know it will be hard to distance yourself from some people, but understand it is totally essential to do so. It's easier to do when you know how to set a healthy boundary and have someone to help you through the emotions and reactions you will encounter. Boundaries are the backbone to say what we will accept and not accept in our life. Making boundaries as part of our daily life and habits will allow you to have space for the people who are meant to be in your life to uplift you, to love you, and to guide you. Much love to you all.